Okay, today we're going to talk about the endocrine system. Now, here's a picture showing you all the parts that are involved in the endocrine system. And as we've mentioned before, it involves all your glands and your hormones. So, examples are you have your pituitary gland, your hypothalamus, your thyroid gland, your pancreas, ovaries, testes, kidneys, all of these in your adrenal gland. All of these glands produce hormones that help our body to regulate. So let's talk about the function of the endocrine system. The function of the endocrine is to regulate your metabolism, homeostasis, growth, and reproduction by using chemical messengers that we call hormones. So go ahead and write this in your notes and put a big bubble cloud around it so you can recognize the function. So as you can see, the endocrine is going to interact with many organisms. With many body systems. So what are the effects that it has on the body? Hormones are specific to a target organ or tissue that is stimulated from it. So the adrenal gland is always going to produce a hormone that affects a certain part of your body. The response to the system is slower than the nervous because it must travel through the blood to react to the target. So your nervous system and your endocrine are going to work very closely together. However, your endocrine, it's kind of like going on a road trip instead of flying. You're going to get to the same destination, but it's going to take a little bit longer. So even though the endocrine does send and relay messages like the nervous system, it doesn't travel as fast. So the effects of a hormone, it can last anywhere from minutes to hours to even years, depending on the particular type. So the connection between the endocrine and the nervous system is the hypothalamus. That is the part of your brain that does control all the glands and how and when they release their hormones, their chemical messengers. So here's an example. And you're not going to have to write all of them down, but I just want you to see. I have the gland on the left, the hormone that is secreted by that gland, and then the function that it does on the body. So you have your pineal gland, which helps to keep your daily sleep patterns. It helps you fall asleep at night, wake up in the morning. You have your pituitary gland, which is called your master gland. The reason why is because this gland controls all your other glands, hence why it's called the master gland. It has to do with your growth hormone, many things. Your thyroid, which helps with your overall metabolism and your blood calcium levels. Your parathyroid, which is the calcium phosphate in your metabolism, helping to stimulate T cells, which are big in your immune system. Your pancreas makes insulin, which helps with your blood sugar, glucose, and that's where diabetes comes in. So if you have diabetes, that is a disease of the endocrine system. Your adrenal gland, you've all probably heard of adrenaline and that kind of stuff. Norepinephrine, that's adrenaline. Epinephrine, like the EpiPen. It's all produced by your adrenal gland. This brings us back to that whole fight or flight mechanism that we talked about when somebody jumps out from behind a building or they scare you and your heart starts beating faster and you start to get short of breath. That's all because of epinephrine, which is created by the adrenal gland. And then you have your ovaries and your testes. That directly relates to the reproductive system. Estrogen is a hormone that females have along with proestrogen, and testosterone is a hormone that men have. So the ovaries make the estrogen and the testes make the testosterone. This is what produces the sperm and egg, which allow us to reproduce. And then the last one. Okay, every single cell in your body has this hormone, which is secreted in response to an injury. This is what lets us know that there's something wrong with our body. So even if you don't consciously know it, your brain does, so that we can fix it. So glands, definitely write this down. Glands are controlled by the nervous system, such as the hypothalamus, or by other chemical messengers. Like we said, we had that master gland. So they are either controlled by the hypothalamus in the brain, which is your nervous system, or by the master gland. So here's a picture of kind of like how your blood system works. So let's say you're eating and you get high levels of glucose in your blood. So there's too much sugar in your blood. Your pancreas then detects this and it releases insulin. The insulin then is secreted into the liver where it goes into your bloodstream to pour the glucose out to return your bloodstream back to level. All this whole process is to help maintain homeostasis. Now, homeostasis, again, with the temperature control, we talked about this. It directly relates to your endocrine gland, right? Your body recognizes it, your gland secretes it, your hypothalamus does. It releases hormones that tells your body to either shiver, to heat up, or to start sweating, which is your excretory system, to cool down. Okay? So let's talk about some disorders. Parkinson's disease is a certain area where the brain dies off and it affects your muscle movement. Huntington's disease is a genetic disorder in which the neurons waste away. These are all kind of back what we were talking about with the nervous. Okay, Cushing's disease is when you have too much of a certain hormone. The hypothalamus is your thyroid secretes too much. Diabetes is when your body does not secrete insulin. Okay, so those are some examples. So if you need to pause this video, rewind it, make sure that you do understand the function and you know what a hormone and the function of a gland is. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.